Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 19th chapter, text number 13. Rajovacha Aho vayam danyataman nrupanam Mahattamanugrahaniya Shila Ragnam kulam brahmanapada sauchat Durad vishrushtam vatagarhya karma. Translation purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The fortunate king said, "Indeed, we are the most grateful of all the kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you, the sages, consider royalty as a refuse to be rejected and left in a distant place." Purport. According to religious principles, stool, urine, wash water, etc. must be left at a long distance. Attached bathrooms, urinals, etc. may be very convenient amenities of modern civilization, but they are ordered to be situated at a distance from residential quarters. That very example is cited herein in relation to the kingly order for those who are progressively marching back to Godhead. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that to be in intimate touch with dolers and cents men or the kingly order is worse than suicide for one who desires to go back to Godhead. In other words, the transcendentalists do not generally associate with men who are too enamored by the external beauty of God's creation. By advanced knowledge and spiritual realization, the transcendentalist knows that this beautiful material world is nothing but a shadowy reflection of the reality, the kingdom of God. They are not therefore much captivated by royal opulence or anything like that. But in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, the situation was different. Apparently, the king was condemned to death by an inexperienced Brahmana boy, but factually he was called by the Lord to return to him. Other transcendentalists, the great sages and mystics who assembled together because of Maharaj Parikshit fasting until death, were quite anxious to see him, for he was going back to Godhead. Maharaj Parikshit also could understand that the great sages who assembled there were all kind to his forefathers, the Pandavas, because of their devotional service to the Lord. He therefore felt grateful to the sages for being present there at the last stage of his life. And he felt that it was all due to the greatness of his late forefathers or grandfathers. He felt proud, therefore, that he happened to be the descendant of such great devotees. Such pride for the devotees of the Lord is certainly not equal to the puffed up sense of vanity for material prosperity. The first is reality, whereas the other is false and vain. So in the present context here, King Parikshit is addressing all the great sages who have assembled on the shore of the Ganges. Initially, when king had gone for hunting and he was tired, he was feeling thirsty, he was searching for a source of water. He went to the hermitage of a sage who was meditating there inside the hermitage, and he was not attending to the king. Finally, the king felt a little anger why he was not responding to my presence, because he is after all a king, he is not an ordinary person. So he felt insulted, and then he felt something we should do, and then he garlanded the sage Shamika Muni with a dead snake, and then he left on that place. So having understood this situation, his son, Shamika Muni's son, went out of his intelligence and then cursed the sage. So within 7 days, the king will be bitten by a snake known as Takshaka. So after the king returned back to his kingdom, on the way he was thinking very guilty, he was feeling very guilty. Because he was a very great king, he was a very devoted king. As he was mentioning here, the most grateful of all the kings and who are trained, these kings are trained to get favors from the great souls. They are not ordinary kings, descending from the great dynasty. So the king was feeling guilty. What have I done? After all, the sage, he is doing his duty. He is meditating. That's his duty. He didn't attend to my presence. That's not my fault. But still, he considered it as an offense or a fault at the sage because under the influence of Kali. The same king Parikshit was ready to punish Kali few moments before, but at this particular moment, he came under the influence of Kali. Such is the power of Kali. So we cannot expect just by because we became devotees and we are leading a devoted life, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. That does not mean that Kali will not influence us. All of us have first-hand experience how even when we try so hard to get out of the pangs of Kali Yuga, but still invariably we fall. We fall prey to the enticement of Kali. So thus the king was feeling guilty and he was returning. He was thinking in the previous verses in this chapter are mentioned. He was thinking himself, let the kingdom, let the fortune, let the wealth, everything burn out so that this Brahmana's wrath fall upon me because I have offended a Brahmana. So as he was thinking, he reached his kingdom and then news reached to him that the Brahmana's son has cursed him to die within 7 days. So the king decided to fast until death. And he left all his opulence, kingdom, everything, and then settled at the bank of the Ganges. As the news spread, sages from all over the universe, they started appearing there. Who are those people who appeared there? Atri, Chavana, Sharadvan, Arishtanemi, Bhrigu, Vasishta, Parasara, Vishwamitra, Angira, Parashurama, Narada Muni, all the great sages have assembled there. He might be thinking that I have committed an offense at the place of Shamika Muni. He might be feeling very repentance. But you see the consequence when the king has decided to fast until death, all the sages are assembled there. All the great sages, including Narada Muni, Vishwamitra, Vyasadeva, Parashurama, all of them have assembled there. That means how great is that king? Nobody will come. If there is a problem, let us say one of us have fallen sick, you are hospitalized, you are in ICU, who will come? How many will come? How many will turn up to see, how is my friend, how is our family member? If such a great number of sages, all of them are very great, have assembled there, we should understand the context, how great is this King Parikshit. And nowhere in the entire Bhagavatam, except in 1 or 2 instances only, anywhere it is not mentioned that such great sages have assembled at one place. Nowhere in the Bhagavatam or any other scriptures, except very rare 1 or 2 instances. Such a great movement this is. What is that movement? Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport. The movement is that the great King Maharaj Parikshit is returning back to kingdom of God. Assured. Even though the king is feeling guilty, the sages are aware what is the fortune of the king. They are not thinking he is cursed or he is to be rejected, nothing like that. They have welcomed him. So at this point, Srila Prabhupada is also mentioning that the king was feeling proud. He felt proud to be happened to be the descendant of such great devotees. His forefathers, grandfathers were great devotees of the Lord. So the king felt proud. So when so many are gathered for my cause, naturally some pride will come. But Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, this pride is not because of vanity. This is not a false pride, this is a true pride. He is proud that he is born in such a great descendant. Now, sometimes pride will also come within us. So how do we observe whether it is a false pride or a true pride? So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that when we approach a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who is coming in a great parampara, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Sampradaya. So in this parampara, when we are getting connected to a pure devotee, definitely you can feel proud. It's a very rare opportunity. Very rarely somebody will get an opportunity to get connected ourselves to a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So you should definitely feel proud of it. But how do we express that proud? We should not express by proud by saying and creating a news outside that now I am a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, a great Vaishnava, great Acharya. Recently Srila Prabhupada has got the title Vishwaguru, recognized not by Vaishnavas, by the Shaivites and other followers. So how great is Srila Prabhupada? Not Vaishnavas are recognizing. The followers of Shaivism and Mayavadis, they are all recognizing Srila Prabhupada's work, how much work Srila Prabhupada has done, what transformation he has brought about in the heart of the materialistic people, condemned people so-called. He turned hippies into happies. And again Prabhupada came back and turned Indians also who were going away from Vedic culture. He turned back them, established ISKCON and made it very popular across. So we should definitely feel proud, but this pride we should express in service to Guru and Krishna, not just simply in words. We should put across our energy, effort, intelligence, everything in service of Guru and Krishna. That is how we should express our pride. Simply keeping the pride in our head, it will only increase the weight of our mind. But when we express it in our service, devotional service to Guru and Krishna, to the deities, Radha Krishna Chandra, then that material pride will go away. Whenever we do any great achievement, let us say somebody, recently we have concluded book marathon. Somebody had done very good, somebody has done average, somebody has done little better. But all of you, most of you have done better than the previous years. So when we have achieved some result, how do we know whether Krishna has accepted it or not? So Prabhupada is explaining to us that if the result whatever we have produced, if Krishna has to accept it, Krishna will accept only when we don't contaminate it with our material pride. You don't take pride in the results that you have achieved. Offer it at the feet of Guru and Krishna. Leave it. Whatever service Srila Prabhupada has given the opportunity to you, you have executed it using your intelligence and energy. And then at the end of the day, please offer it at the feet of the Guru. You don't take the result. If you accept, if you think that this is, I have done it, I am the number one or the number two or the number three, whereas the others could not do, if you laugh at them either outside or inside, if you start comparing, then this pride, because of this pride, the result will be contaminated and Krishna will not accept it. So any kind of service, if you have to be sure that Krishna accepts, then don't add pride there. Just offer it as an offering to the feet of Guru, as an offering from your side. This is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to teach us all through his instructions. Now, here Parikshit Maharaj is mentioning, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here the fortunate king. King is very fortunate. And king is also mentioning here, we are most grateful of all the kings. How did this fortune or how did this gratefulness come about? So we know the name King Parikshit. He got the name Parikshit because when he was in the womb of his mother, Krishna has protected him within the womb, and he saw the form of the Lord as Paramatma within the womb, and Lord has protected him. So at that time, he had the darshan of the Lord. So after he was born, when he took birth in his body, when he landed on this earth, he was always looking at who is that personality who I saw within the womb. He was always observing who is it, is it he, is it this person, is it that person. He was always examining. That is why his name is Parikshit. What does that mean? What is the meaning of he is always examining? Means he is always meditating on Krishna. There was never a moment where he has stopped meditation on Krishna. So that is the fortunate, that is the gratefulness of this great devotee. This is the reason why all the great sages have assembled at the final stage of his life. They are sure that in these 7 days, whatever is going to happen is going to be a very great thing. And of course, they know the future, so they know that Bhagavatam is going to be spoken, and they have also assembled to hear from Sukadeva Goswami the great literature called as Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, after having spoken Parikshit that I am grateful, we are fortunate kings, now he didn't say, you are all assembled, now you hear to me. I will talk and you hear to me. No, he didn't show his pride in that manner. Rather, he exhibited his pride by offering obeisances to all the great personalities who have assembled there. And then he put forth his request saying, what should I do now? So that at the end of my life, without doubt, I attain the kingdom of God. He is anxious to reach back to Godhead. He doesn't want to stay in this world. Of course, Parikshit has got an intimation that in 7 days, death is going to come upon him. Whereas in our case, we don't have any intimation. We don't know when it will come, what will happen to us next moment, or at any moment it can happen. So, we should be more anxious than Parikshit to hear about, to understand the glories of the Lord. Only when we start meditating, that fortune and that greatness will come upon us. Otherwise not. So to come to that stage, what is our Acharya, spiritual master Srila Prabhupada wanting from us? We say Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. What does that mean? He is trying to teach us something. He is trying to give us some instructions by which we can purify. So these are the instructions Srila Prabhupada is giving to all of us. In one letter, Srila Prabhupada is writing like this. The leaders, this is a letter to Vibhavati in New Vrindavan, 1969. I am very glad to see your sarcastic remark in the article where you write, cigarette smoking hangs heavy in the air. The leaders of the peace movement must all be men of character. Prabhupada is explaining here. The leaders of the peace movement must be all men of character. And to rise such men of character, there must be the four regulative principles, namely, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, and no intoxication. According to Vedic civilization, these four principles must be followed by persons desiring spiritual advancement of life. Persons who want to be public leaders and persons who want to be highly intellectual for understanding God and His creation. So, this Prabhupada is not explaining specifically to his devotees. Prabhupada is enforcing this. What should be the quality of the leader? Here, in the present context, Parikshit Maharaj is a leader. He is the king. Now, Prabhupada is explaining to become a great king or fortune to fall upon a great king or a leader, he should first follow the four regulative principles. Of course, we all know that Srila Prabhupada wanted all of us to follow the four regulative principles. And further, Srila Prabhupada gives in another instruction in a letter to Jagadisha. This is in Mumbai, December 1974. Now you are raising your third child. So more and more you are becoming responsible for these living entities who are your dependents. You must see that they do not take birth again in this material world. Now, Jagadisha is the father of 3 children. Srila Prabhupada is stressing that he should make sure that the 3 children should not take birth. If the children should not take birth, which means he should have inculcated all those good qualities, good values, devotional principles into the lives of their children. If the children have to follow or learn the Vedic principles, Prabhupada is mentioning, therefore, you and your good wife must endeavor strongly to become fully Krishna conscious. First, you have to become Krishna conscious if your children have to be liberated. And how should it happen? Through sublime process that I have given, by following the process without deviation. What is the process? Chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be chanted every day. Whoever is a parent here or whoever is planning to become parent, please follow this very carefully. Srila Prabhupada is asking every one of us to chant minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. And just not this much. Following the 4 regulative principles. But of course you have to show by your example. That's what Prabhupada said in the previous letter. If a leader has to become responsible, have to lead their citizens, the followers, on the path of the truth, get out of this sinful life, then they have to follow the 4 regulative principles. And then attend classes. You have to attend here Bhagavata Shravanam and then attend Mangalarti, rising early every day. So this is what Srila Prabhupada is asking from us. Easily nobody can become fortunate. Easily nobody can become grateful, as Parikshit Maharaj is saying. It's not easy. It involves a lot of pain, struggle, austerity. It involves all those things. It's not at all easy. But Krishna is promising in Bhagavad Gita that this particular path of yoga known as Bhakti Yoga can be executed very easily. So which means initially there will be little struggle, pain, but as we take onto the part seriously, then that pleasure or that happiness you will start experiencing it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining here, of course, in fact, Srila Prabhupada started the purport by saying stool, urine, wash water should be left at a long distance. Attached bathrooms, urinals are very convenient amenities to modern civilization, but with respect to the Vedic instructions, bathrooms or washrooms have to be built little far away from the residential quarters. Now in this context, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, all throughout my life when I led as a king, in the midst of the riches, taking the experience of the responsibility of the kingly order, no sage has come to see me. Nobody has come to see him. He is still the same personality, same Parikshit, same king, same opulence, everything the same, but nobody has come to see him. No sage has come to ask, how are you ruling? In fact, they stayed away from him. You sages consider royalty as refused to be rejected and left in a distant place. But I am very fortunate today at this point of time, all of you have assembled. So see the intensity of the situation, see the gravity of the situation, such a very special moment, not an ordinary thing that's happening here. Those sages who don't even consider looking at the kings, what about thinking of associating with him? Such kind of people have come and assembled there. What a great moment it is. So in this context, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here, stressing on the instructions, the transcendentalist, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that to be in intimate touch with dollars and cents men or the kingly order is worse than suicide. This should be the mindset of a devotee. If you have to become a Vaishnava, then this should be our mindset. The sloka that is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like this. Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmukasya param param jagamishor bhavasagarasya sandharshanam vishayanam atayoshitam cha ha hanta hanta visha vakshanatopi asadhu. Greatly lamenting, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then informed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, alas, for a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean, a person who is desiring to cross the material ocean, all of us are here, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting, every day chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sincerely following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So this instruction, this particular instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applies to all of us. Alas, for a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean, engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord without material motives, seeing a materialist engaged in sense gratification and taking interest in such people is more abominable than drinking poison willingly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us a warning, don't associate with materialistic people, aristocratic richness, wherever richness is there, don't associate with it. But then, how is it practical for us? Because some of you will be in business, some of you will be working. So you have to deal with materialistic people, you have to deal with... So it is... This instruction may seem impractical for us. Then Little further, this is an instruction to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Little further, a similar instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given to Ramananda Raya, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Shukla vastre masi bindu yaichina lukaya sanyasir alpachidra sarvaloke gaya. There is a white cloth. The cloth is pure white, but there is a black spot on it. So an analogy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. So when there is a black spot on a white cloth, immediately all our attention will be on that spot. How much ever the cloth may be white and clean, but there is one black spot. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, as soon as a general public finds a fault with a sannyasi, one fault is enough, they immediately advertise it like wildfire. So when we are trying to become devotees, taking the path of bhakti, trying to follow Srila Prabhupada, if we do anything wrong, what happens? As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here, whatever small mistake we do, the general public talk it like they spread this news like a wildfire. This is the reason, if you don't want, or in fact we should not bring about bad fame, we should not advertise Srila Prabhupada or ISKCON movement or Vaishnava Sampradaya or the path of spirituality in a bad light. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing us, we should always be very careful in associating with materialistic people. Rich people, you should always be very, very careful. The essence of all of these instructions in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is summarizing it like this. Mahaprabhura Bhakta Ghanera Vairagya Pradhana. Among the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, renunciation is the basic principle sustaining the lives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yahadeki Prita Hana Gaura Bhagavana. Seeing this renunciation of his devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is extremely satisfied. If you have to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you have to lead your life exemplifying a renunciant. This is the summary at the end of Chaitanya Charitamrita in the Antya Leela, 6th chapter, 220th verse. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining, after explaining the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, that this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expecting from us. This is what brings happiness to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra to purify our senses. To better achieve the purification of our senses, to better achieve the goal of life, the love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking us to take to the path of renunciation. So having explaining all of this, there is one personality in the Chaitanya Leela who doesn't seem to be fitting. So we'll try to hear about this particular personality. Once, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crying a lot, and he was crying out like this. Pundarika, my father, when am I going to meet you? The associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not much aware. Who is this Pundarika? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing, my father, when am I going to meet you? When am I going to see you? So then other devotees became little inquisitive. Who is this Pundarika? Then at one particular instance, Mukunda Datta takes Gadadhar Pandita with him and says, I'm going to show you one great personality. We'll go to visit one great personality. His name is Pundarika Vidyanidhi. So both of them will go towards a place where Pundarika Vidyanidhi is staying. Mukunda Datta is aware of Pundarika Vidyanidhi because both of them are from the same place. So Mukunda Datta is very much aware from his childhood how Pundarika Vidyanidhi behaves, how he acts. But Gadadhar Pandita is not aware who is Pundarika Vidyanidhi, what is his behavior, what is his actions. So when both of them enter into the house of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, a very rich palatial building. Pundarika Vidyanidhi is a landlord. He is having a lot of wealth. So when they enter, immediately Gadadhar Pandita looks at the palace, very opulent, very beautiful. So many servants are there. He will think a moment, why am I entering into a palace? What need is there for me? We need the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great devotees. What is the need for me to enter into this palace? He is looking at all this opulence. Why did Mukunda Datta bring me here? And then as they entered into the inside living quarters, and then there they come across the Pundarika Vidyanidhi. He is sitting on an opulent couch. So opulent, it is looking like a foam of milk. And he is surrounded by so many servants. They are fanning him with peacock fan, chamara. And surrounding him, there are so many opulent dishes they have made. And there is a tray of pan. And there is whatever you can imagine. All the opulent things are there, ready for him to consume. Whenever he wants, everything is available. Ready. So many servants are there to serve him. Very opulent person, landlord. Mukunda Datta brings Gadadhar Pandita in front of Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandita is off. He is not understanding. Why did Mukunda Datta bring me to this place? And why is he trying to introduce me to this person who is living in luxury? Such a opulent person, luxurious life he is leading. So many foodstuffs are there. So many enjoyable things are there. What I have to learn from him? So this, whatever is happening in the mind of Gadadhar Pandita, Mukunda Datta understands. Immediately, Mukunda Datta chants one particular shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Aho vakeyam sthanakala kutam jagama shayapaya yayad api asadvi lebhe gatim dhartri uchitam tatonyam kamvadayalam sharanam brajema. What great fortune this demon Putana. This is a discussion between Uddhava and Vidura. Vidura is asking about Uddhava, tell me about the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. After winding up the pastimes, Krishna has wound up his pastimes, he left, then Uddhava is there, and when Vidura meets Uddhava, then he asks Uddhava, please speak to me about Krishna. Then Uddhava will not be in a position to speak. He was literally crying and very, very morose that Krishna has left this planet and I am still alive. So at that time, Uddhava is explaining to Vidura, how can I talk about that great personality where he has granted the position of mother to a demon, Putana, who has come to kill him. Uddhava is explaining to Vidura, what is the greatness of Lord Krishna? I cannot explain the greatness of Lord Krishna. It is impossible for me. To a demon who has come to kill him when he was a small child, and he has awarded her the position of mother. As and when Mukunda Datta has chanted this verse, immediately transformation came in the body of Pundarika Vidyanidhi. he became mad. He became uncontrolled. All the symptoms of a great devotee, whatever is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, most of the symptoms that can be seen or be found in a human being are found. A great personality, great devotee. He became mad and he started jumping and he started breaking everything, whatever is there within his vicinity. He broke everything. He tore apart his couch, the costliest, whatever couch, and then the dress he is wearing, all silk clothes, everything he tore apart. He became mad when he heard this one particular sloka. The greatness of Lord Krishna, the moment when he heard the greatness of Lord Krishna, he became uncontrolled, he is mad. Looking at this condition of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar Pandita understood, oh, this he is not an ordinary person. It is impossible that an ordinary person can bring about a transformation by hearing the glories of Lord Krishna. We are sitting and hearing the glories of Lord Krishna again and again. What transformation is coming within us? But here is a personality who is Pundarika Vidyanidhi, living in the midst of the richness, opulence. Hundreds of servants are there at his order to serve whatever he wants, to carry out whatever instruction he orders. But such a great personality, inside his heart, he hid the devotion to Lord Krishna. He didn't exhibit in the public. He exhibited only when Mukunda Datta incited his devotion. He brought about, put forth the glories of Lord Krishna. When he heard, only then the devotion came out. Otherwise, it is hid deep inside. So, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining that renunciation is the basic principle that all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are seeking. And Lord Chaitanya will be happy, is very happy at looking at the quality of renunciation his disciples, our devotees, our followers are exhibiting. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining through this personality called as Pundarika Vidyanidhi, which is not an ordinary example because it is very difficult. Living in the midst of opulence, how do we practice Krishna consciousness? So when we hear such personalities, we should understand bhakti is an inside thing. You don't need to exhibit it outside by showing so-called paraphernalia or whatever. Wearing thick kantimala, special gadgets, special dress. These are all externals. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not be happy with all these things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be happy by the extent of devotion you show unto Lord Krishna inside your heart, like Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Externally you show your opulence, whatever, exhibit as a materialistic person, doesn't matter. Inside your heart you need to cultivate Bhakti Lata Bija. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crying, my father Pundarika Vidyanidhi, because Pundarika Vidyanidhi is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So, if you look at the lineage, he is in line with, equal with Ishwar Puri, who is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing Pundarika Vidyanidhi as my father. And also Pundarika Vidyanidhi, in his previous, in the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the Vraja Bhumi, Vrajamandal, he is incarnation of Varshabhanu, the father of Radharani. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So, in that sense also he is expressing Pundarika Vidyanidhi as his father. The same instruction Lord Krishna is explaining to us in Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, the very first verse, Anashyatah karma phalam. This is basically when Arjuna Arjuna doesn't want to wage a war. Instead, he wanted to renounce his Kshatriya responsibilities and go to forest and meditate, beg and live. But then Krishna rejected Arjuna's appeal of so-called renunciation, and then Krishna is explaining to Arjuna what is true renunciation. In the 6th chapter, very first verse, Krishna is explaining anashritha karma phalam karyam karma karotiha sasanyasi cha yogi cha naniragnir nacha kriyaha. Yogi is not one who doesn't set fire. Who doesn't set fire means basically cooking, who doesn't do any cooking. For our daily sustenance of life, we have to eat something. So for that, we have to cook. To cook, fire is required. So Krishna is explaining here, a yogi is not one, a true yogi is not one who doesn't set fire, nor one who doesn't perform any work. If you does not perform any work, you doesn't become a yogi. That's not the qualification of a yogi. That's not the quality of a yogi. Rather, Krishna is saying, anashritha karma phalam. One who does not take shelter of his results. One who is not attached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obliged in the renounced order of life. Now, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, he has given a lot of instructions, chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, daily reading or Shravanam of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, various scriptures, and then following the 4 regulative principles. What is our expectation in this? Krishna is saying, anashritaha karma phalam. Don't expect anything from that. If you are expecting, then you cannot become a yogi. So when you are doing whatever Prabhupada is saying, don't expect, but do it as he is obliged. As we are obliged, taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada, accepting him as our spiritual master, because spiritual master, the great Acharya, the Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada is instructing us what we have to do. We are obliged to do that, but don't expect any result from it. When we expect, what happens? As I said in the beginning, we take pride in the results, and then our the lust, whatever results, whatever we wanted, expectations, we add material qualities to the result, and finally we cannot offer it to Krishna. Because Krishna doesn't accept our efforts, our senses doesn't get purified. So this is the formula Krishna is explaining to us, anashritha karma phalam. Don't take shelter of the results. Work like a true renunciant. Be obliged to do your duty, but don't get attached to the results. So in this present verse, by the example, by the life of King Parikshit, a very exemplary life. King Parikshit, Srila Prabhupada is saying King Parikshit is very fortunate, and King Parikshit is saying we are very grateful for being servants of the Lord throughout the life. King Parikshit has got an opportunity to take birth in the great dynasty, and then he also got an opportunity at the end of his life to associate with all the great sages. The great sages have come there in the plea of pilgrimage. They didn't come there saying, Parikshit Maharaj is leaving, so I have come to give him instructions or associate. No, they have come in the plea of pilgrimage. Bhagavatam is saying they have come in the plea of pilgrimage, and then, by the way, association is taking place. And when all of the great personalities have assembled, they didn't fight saying, okay, I am a great personality, you hear my instruction. Or I am another great personality, I am a great Muni, you hear my instruction. No, all of them gave seat to Sukadeva Goswami when he arrived there. Having observed, Parashurama is there, Vyasadeva is there, Narada Muni is there, all the great personalities are there, still they gave the asana to Sukadeva Goswami to speak and glorify the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So all this we learn from today's verse. So if such great fortune or gratefulness should come upon us, then in the same way we should also continue to meditate on the instructions given to us by Srila Prabhupada and always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll end here. Hare Krishna.